Welcome to ET Studios at the Economic Times GCC Growth Summit 2025 in Hyderabad. The panel discussion now we're spotlighting is Driving Innovation and Excellence, the strategic role of GCCs in BFSI transformation. At our panel discussion today, we have two eminent leaders from the industry. We have Snigdha Ghosh Ray, VP Payments and Banking, Diebold Nixdorf, and Jinya Suzuki, CEO, MUFG Global Services Private Limited. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Sure, pleasure.
Yep.
Let me start off with the first question. What role do GCCs play in driving technological advancements, particularly in areas of emerging technologies such as AI and blockchain?
Sure. So, Shilpa, what we typically do in GCCs is, and not just for AI and blockchain, but whenever there is a new technology, we kind of provide a safe space for people to experiment. And the way we do that is, of course, there are several factors out here. One, just enabling an environment for them to play around and tinker around with the technology or tools. Of course, what we also have to do is ensure, when I say safe, your data, because especially in the BFSI sector or any other sector too, there are regulations around data privacy. So, of course, those kind of guardrails are put. But then what we do is we let people play, experiment with those, try to solve a few use cases, and then slowly pilot it and take it forward and launch it, right? And these could be either internal use cases for the enterprise itself, like for AI, there are a lot of productivity, ops efficiency use cases. But then again, there are the big ticket items like risk models, fraud management models. Those are the ones, of course, that are more customer facing, or I would say direct impact to customer, or how do you engage consumers, how do you sell different new product lines, right, financial products to customers. And similarly in blockchain, I think it's more around crypto that we have done work. But then, creating that small COE, enabling the talent, upskilling the talent sometimes. Sometimes it's, hiring the right talent if there is talent available in the market. And then, of course, training people, especially leadership, because it's not the technology that's driving it, it's the business problem that you're trying to solve, or the opportunity that you're trying to create using technology. So I think helping people develop this business acumen, understand what is going to be the impact, is it the top line, bottom line. So those are again a lot of programs that we do to create the right foundation for them to experiment and take it forward.
Well, absolutely, GCCs are a great space to roll out proof of concepts. How would you like to respond to that?
Thank you. So exactly what you said. So our GCC just like I say, eventually have a 2 years kind of history, but all the system is now centralized into India, and all the system is connected, and the talent is put into one place. And we implemented a new technology here. It is also rolled up to the other regions. So this is a kind of one of the typical business model which GCC bring the benefit to us. So then we are now step by step implementing a new technology, AI. It also they bring the standardization across the regions. So we are now seeing the good benefits so far. Yeah.
All right. And at your GCCs, how do you balance the need for operational efficiency with the need to stay fast and agile in an ever-changing financial landscape?
So I think there are a couple of things that we take care of, because it's a very fine balance that we have to keep between ops efficiency and, let's say, innovation and rapid innovation. So gone are those days where I think you had this endless budget for experimentation, for innovation. Today the key part is how do you self-fund any of these innovations, which really means then you have to stabilize, your delivery processes, your customer processes. And I think in BFSI, there's always, even if your product is stable, your product is very feature rich, there are requirements like you have to scale up the software, right? Or the regulations that you have to ensure gets rolled out, right? So the key over there is automate as much as possible, put it on cloud. So, as required, it can scale up and down. Use AI, use low code or no code platforms. So especially for your regulations and mandates, you can just configure it, right? And you don't have to spend a lot of effort in developing. So I think that's been the trend to stabilize it, reduce the investment required for maintaining a product, or even just incremental growth products. And then, of course, like I talked earlier, you're skilling up talent, you're investing in newer technology, and that's where again, we use tools like Elmo if you want to do some quick, testing of the market, roll out a feature, get good feedback, quickly move on, and other rapid prototyping tools, user testing, and all of that, right? Before you really take technology forward. But that's pretty much how we kind of self-fund our innovation.
That's interesting. Do you also use APIs and LCNCs perhaps as fixes?
Yeah, so it's more like a kind of standard to use the API for the more retail banking system. Then so we are going to use our data updation with using the API. So which is more like I say bring the efficiencies in our core banking system itself. But it's also that, as you said, it's a kind of balance. How we can manage this kind of efficiency, how we can manage the kind of data governance. Sure. So we are now in the middle of the kind of journey right now. Yeah.
Right. And what are the strategies that you use to attract and retain top talent in GCCs?
Yeah, again, it goes back to, I think, our sector. The domain knowledge is extremely important, and I think BFSI is one of the domains that there's just so much innovation happening. I think our customer demands, our market demands keep us on our toes, right? So retaining the talent becomes very, very critical because it's not just tech talent you're talking about, but you're also talking about domain talent. You're also talking about somebody who understands compliance, regulations globally, because all our products are global. So again, you use different levers for different talent. Your junior and mid talent, mid-level talent, you're doing, usually a lot of tech sessions, getting cross-functional teams to work together and constantly challenging them, getting them exposed to customer intelligence, getting them exposed to, consumers, the way they're using it. A lot of support intelligence is coming in as to what's working, what's not working. And we're really growing them to be more accountable, leaders as they grow into the organization. But then, when you're talking about AI or data, I think sometimes it's not just enough to have the domain expertise. Yes, while you train your senior guys to understand the technology, learn to solve your business cases, you just need sometimes deep domain experts, right? And so that's when we again go and hire from the market. They could be acqui hires, or they could be just lateral talent acquisition, right? So if they're data scientists or data engineers, and if you look at it, even on the data side, there's massive innovation that's happening. So I think there is a good balance of external talent acquisition and very, very aggressive learning for the internal hypos. And then, of course, culturally, I think everybody, especially in India, I think, they're younger, the workforce is younger, they love to work on technology, they're able to pick up quickly. So we keep them challenged, right? A lot of hackathons and, just typical engagement hacks that we do to keep them challenged, and, our reward and recognitions and stuff like that. So.
Thank you for sharing your approach, and would love to hear yours.
Yeah, so our group company itself have a footprint for the 50 countries. So one of the the driver to attract the talent is we are sending these top talent to the Tokyo or US or the UK for them to develop the top technologies. The other thing is what the GCC is they centralize all the technology into one place, so that they have a more the COE or any new technology challenge they can try in this place. So these are two aspects, which is more bringing the top talent, so to be retained.
That's interesting indeed, and that brings our discussion to a wrap today. Thank you so much for joining us at our studios and sharing your insights. And thank you for watching as well. And for more such interesting conversations, remember to stay tuned at the ET GCC Growth Summit 2025.